Howdy peeps, your friendly neighborhood monomahos here, speaking to you on a glorious Pentecost morning. I pray that the feast will find you blessed and it will be a spiritually profitable one for you. Unfortunately, I have to go to work. Anyway, pray for me in that regard, would you? That I win the lottery. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and start my apologia about the monasteries and Athonite monasticism in America at present. My editorial board overrode me and went ahead and published certain comments, or instructed me to go ahead and publish comments. I said I wouldn't. I wanted a moratorium, both pro and con, but this is Pentecost, and I've just received an insight that this needs to be discussed, and it needs to be discussed as soon as possible. As for my formal apology, it will come a little bit later. Right now, I will just offer my verbal presentation with just a few words that I can manage. So, caveats aside, let's get right to it. Monasticism is important. True monasticism. But let us not hold the bar so artificially high when we ourselves do not hold our parochial life as high. Monasticism and parish life are both intrinsic to Christianity. They're both necessary for Christianity for a host of reasons. Okay? So, to those critics who find faults, little faults maybe, or bring up uncomfortable instances or incidents in monasticism, but yet overlook the great scandal that besets many parishes, is hypocritical. Jesus said, "Do not go to your brother and say, 'Let me take the splinter out of your eye, while you have a log, a beam in your own.'" Cards on the table. I'm in favor of Elder Ephraim and his movement, and I'm in favor of authentic monasticism, however it's manifested, wherever it's manifested. Okay, we talk about spiritual maturity, monasticism, male monasticism, female monasticism is a prerequisite. It's necessary. I'm seeing some commentary. I think Gail speaks for me, and she speaks about the tongues, and she also speaks about monasticism. And it's very, very profound and eloquent. Good job, Gail. You took the words right out of my mouth and said it better than I can. I'm not going to say anything more about it, except this, that what I have experienced personally, now going on maybe a dozen times over the last 20 years, has been life-changing and profound for me. I have found nothing out of the ordinary, weird, okay? I have found nothing uncomfortable. On the contrary, I have found exceedingly normal men. Men that I could play cards with, have a cigar with, talk about anything. But yet, these men are on a plane that I aspire to and I wish I could attain myself, short of joining them. And someday, who knows, maybe I will. Maybe you will. Maybe you will. Who knows? Don't disparage them. There's nothing abnormal going on there that I could see. And from the fruits of their labors, it's all good. Remember what Jesus said, by their fruits ye shall judge them. Okay? In my formal written apologia, I will discuss more about this. Right now, I want to talk about what I believe is the spirit that's animating the criticism of them. Excuse me. I believe that the American Orthodoxy in general, but especially the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese in particular, is at a crossroads. The GOA is in actual crisis. Okay. A lot of things are going on which are not good. I mean, not good in the ordinary sense of the word. They are indeed scandalous. However, they may be happening for the glory of God and the edification of His church. What did St. Paul say about there must ever be contentions among you? I'm going to be merciful to those who do not like the monasteries. I'm going to be merciful to those who are liberal. I'm going to be merciful and charitable in my commentary and my criticisms about those who have secularized and globalized the GOA. They're still operating in a paradigm of American churchianity. Okay, which that train done left the station sometime in the 1980s. Okay, they still think in that way, and they're extremely worldly. Some of these critics, especially I don't want to name names, but you know who I'm talking about, particularly in the GOA and these lay organizations. They're still operating in a paradigm of churchianity, of globalism, of secularism, of just plain old liberalism. In other words, they like the fact that the typical priest and his presbytera can be presented at the country club, whereas these monks are, unshaven monastics, ascetics. There is that, okay? And interestingly, the scandal is all on the other side. Lawnmower, Sunday morning, what do you know? For all the talk about self-flagellation, dehydration, extreme fasting, which all can be explained away, and they will be in due time. The fact of the matter is, for those who are on the other side and who are casting aspersions, what right do they have to do so, given the extreme scandal that the GOA finds itself in on so many levels? And now the little cherry on top of the cake is this speech by Veliotis, who, as probably the price of his giving a loan, demanded to speak at the graduation, to be the commencement speaker. That's going to come out too. I'm going to talk about the speech soon, and in which he declared autocephaly from Istanbul. If that's not a scandal, and I think it's a good scandal in a way, then I don't know what is. Leave aside the fact the implosion of St. Nicholas Shrine, the bankruptcy there, the fact that they can't even turn on the lights at 79th Street, the chasing after honors, the so-called Athenagoras Human Rights Award, which is a joke. Let's be honest, it's a joke. It's given to whoever is the pop star of the day. Okay, it's given to Greek Americans who are not even Greek Orthodox. Okay, it's given to charlatans like Elie Wiesel. And he is a charlatan. Someday I'll write about it. It's given to whoever is the cultural icon du jour, just to keep these well-heeled Greek Americans in a state of opening their pocketbook and going to some nice ritzy hotel like the Ritz-Carlton with their wives. Okay, it's a joke. Okay, there are so many things in the official GOA which are a joke, that for these people, whether they're bishops, whether they're the worldly priests, whether they're Byzantine enablers among the laity, is scandalous. That's the scandal. And for them to criticize the monasteries is scandalous as well, even more so. Why? So why are they doing it? Well, there are 19 of these monasteries. Their assets combined probably equal in the hundreds of millions of dollars. You do the math. Do not discount that possibility. So how do you go about acquiring, confiscating that stuff? Well, make up stuff. Make up scandals. Talk about this, that, or the other. Try to turn the minds of the people away from them, so that when it comes time to confiscate their properties, it will be easier to do so. This has happened before. King Henry VIII of England needed money bad. His advisor Cromwell, Thomas Cromwell, I believe it was, said, well, you know, there's all these monasteries over there. There's corruption going on there. He thought about it. He knew his soul was in peril of doing something like that, but in the end, it didn't stop him. He confiscated those monasteries, destroyed quite a few, confiscated their wealth, gave some of it to his cronies who helped him in this regard, kind of greased the wheels a little bit so that they could leave the Roman Church and join the English Church, of which he was now the head. And many of the great fortunes of England are still reliant on that capital that was built up from the confiscation of the wealth of these monasteries. Anyway, these are some things to think about, folks. So, we will bid you farewell. Pax vobiscum. More will be said in the future. More will be written about. Let's try to love one another. Adios.